Welcome to Track Records, where we dive into the most legendary records in all of horse racing. Today we're focusing on one of the most celebrated moments in the history of horse racing, the day that American Pharoah broke the 37-year drought of the Triple Crown. For nearly 4 decades, the Triple Crown was an impossible dream. Countless great horses tried, only to fall short in the grueling Belmont Stakes. But in only but in 2015, one horse changed everything. American Pharoah. He didn't just win the Triple Crown. He made history in dominant fashion, and we're here to break it all down. Now let's talk about this 37-year drought. The Triple Crown is one of the most elusive achievements in all of sports. Since its inception at this time of 2015, only 11 horses had ever completed the sweep, and this dates back to the late 1800s. The sweep of the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness Stakes, and the Belmont Stakes. After a firm did it in 1978, the racing world entered the longest drought ever that it's ever seen. Because in the 70s, they had 3 Triple Crown winners. So at that point, they thought it must have been easy. But no one knew the drought that was about to come. For 37 years, we saw heartbreak after heartbreak. Spectacular horses like Ali Sheba, Silver Charm, Real Quiet, who lost by a nostril, Smarty Jones, California Chrome come to mind. They all came close, but they all faltered in the Belmont Stakes. It's called the Test of the Champion for a reason, and the Test of the Champion turned into the graveyard of Triple Crown dreams. It wasn't just about talent. Winning the Triple Crown requires stamina, heart, and the ability to handle 3 grueling races in just 5 weeks. Not just that, you have to travel. You have to go to 3 different cities, states, different distances. It's unbelievably hard. Many it's so hard that many believed the sport had changed too much and that modern training methods made the Triple Crown impossible. Many wanted the the schedule of the Triple Crown to change, make it longer because they thought it was impossible. But in 2015, a bay colt trained by Bob Baffert, owned by Zayat Stables, stepped onto the scene and made all that go away. His name was American Pharoah. The road to immortality. American Pharoah was no ordinary racehorse. He was sired by Pioneer of the Nile out of Little Princess Emma. He had a smooth, silky, effortless stride that made it look like he was just gliding over the track. But as impressive as he was, no one knew that he would go on to break the 37-year drought of the Triple Crown. He entered the 2015 Kentucky Derby as the favorite, and he did not disappoint. Under Victor Espinoza, coming from post position 18, he powered past his rivals in the stretch to win by just over a length. It was a commanding win, but it really wasn't that challenging. He did it pretty easily. But 2 weeks later at Pimlico, he dominated in the slop. The heavens opened up, and the track looked like soup. But he showed he loved the muddy track, and it was one of the most visually impressive races of his career. And now, one race stood between him and immortality, the Belmont Stakes, the one that a lot of greats failed at. Now, the Belmont Stakes was next. June 6, 2015, Belmont Park. The air was electric. The crowd, over 90,000, packed the grandstand, hoping that they'd witness history. But there was also a sense of unease in the air. 12 horses had come to Belmont Park since a firm, all trying to break the curse, and every single one failed. Would American Pharoah be different than all those 12 horses? From the moment the gate opened, it was clear this race would go through American Pharoah. He went straight to the lead, setting honest but comfortable fractions. Victor was just sitting there, waiting to press the button when he felt like it was the right time. He wasn't being pressured pace-wise. He wasn't struggling. He was in his nice, high cruising speed, and Victor Espinoza knew it. As they came around the far turn, the Belmont crowd started to roar. Espinoza guided him kind of to the rail as they came into the stretch and got in front of the only horse that was closing was Frosted. Kind of got it onto the rail in front of Frosted to make him drift out. Espinoza gave him the cue, and American Pharoah responded. He opened up effortlessly, pulling away from the field down the stretch. The roar was deafening. The drought was over. American Pharoah crossed the line 5.5 lengths in front, becoming the first Triple Crown winner in 37 years. The impossible dream had finally come true. Now, what came out of that for the sport? The impact of the moment cannot be overstated. For decades, fans had hoped only to be let down again and again. But in 2015, American Pharoah changed everything. His victory wasn't just a win. It was a rebirth for the sport of horse racing. For the first time in a generation, the world got to see a Triple Crown winner. It was a reminder of why this sport captivates millions around the world, and as why we love these magnificent athletes and why the Triple Crown is so special. After the Belmont, American Pharoah continued to dominate, capping off his historic career with the victory in the Breeders' Cup Classic, becoming the first horse to ever complete the Grand Slam of horse racing. He left the track a legend, and his legacy continues as a sire. But no moment will ever compare to that Belmont Stakes when American Pharoah gallops into immortality and ended the longest drought racing had ever seen. That wraps up our first episode of Track Records. American Pharoah's Triple Crown wasn't just a record, it was a moment that defined an era. Make sure you subscribe and join us next time as we dive into more legendary moments in horse racing history. And until then, keep chasing those records.
Now open! The Beat the Odds Horse Racing LLC store is officially open. With over 100 horse racing themed products, including shirts, hoodies, stickers, and more, you're sure to find something you love. Check it out now at www.BTOHR.com and discover your perfect match today. Don't miss out. Shop now and beat the odds.